Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What is up? What's going on? Honey is freaking out. What are you running around for? Okay. My God. Where are you going? Wait, watch him. Honey, what's up? Oh, there he goes. Okay. Are you gonna bring something for that Theo guy? Erudite should have scheduled him for him. Does the cat have any toys? Oh, yeah. I'm thinking about the Harvey conversation a bit. What is the evidence that we have publicly available of Eastman's wrongdoing outside of just an advisory role? Eastman was directly confronting Pence and his counsel about how to do this particular scheme. I think that everything Harvey said would have been okay if Eastman's involvement would have just been up to chatting with Trump about how you could do this, but Eastman was like a co-conspirator. He helped him. I think that hurts you a lot. He had surprisingly good chemistry with you and Dan. Yeah, that guy was actually, really good at all of that, yeah. What are the exact charges against Eastman? I don't know. I don't even know if he's been charged with a crime. Other than listed as co-conspirator in the Trump stuff. Do you think the Harvey Convo would go differently post-case/trial? Yeah, probably. I mean, he shouldn't really ever be admitting anything. It's his client, right? Do you think it would be dependent on the manner in which he gave his advice? If he made it clear to Trump that the action would be illegal, then I'm not sure if that was necessarily wrong. I mean, if he's saying that it would be illegal and he's still encouraging him to do it and helping him do it, seems like, oh my God, OTK drama. Yes.
I'm just gonna be, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I wanted to join OTK. When I was in America the first time, I wanted to be in OTK so bad, bro. I genuinely loved the dynamic they had. I loved everything they did, bro. I did. I was so excited by the prospect of being in OTK. I genuinely was. To the point where we was in talks. It was gonna happen. It was all gonna happen. I had other offers from TSM and from fuck, I can't think of their name, bro. Anyways, I had offers from other organizations, and I turned them down to pursue OTK. OTK ghosted me. I lost the opportunity for TSM. I lost the opportunity for the other organizations, and I lost the opportunity to get a visa and be in America with friends. It wasn't just the ghost. It was everything that came around it.
Okay.
To show me one thing, one single thing that I was invited to that I said no. Like, show me one thing. Like, please, bro. One thing that I was invited to that I said no to. One. Please, one.
Active camp.
I'm detecting hostiles on Zone C.
It's bullshit. It's lies. It's lies. I'm sorry. Like, that's a lie. Why lie? There's no reason to lie.
Oh boy.
See that? You should be an OTK. More naval stand. Zoil, Lakari, Myth.
So, I'm a free agent. I'm gonna talk shit because I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
We tried to get Zoil.
What?
We did. Zoil came here. And what Zoil did was he got super involved in the ERAP community. I'm being transparent here. ERAP's community hates us. So every time it's like, hey Zoil, you wanna come on stream? Never showed up. So we stopped talking to him.
I feel like I'm looking better.
Yeah, so we tried.
And that's actually accurate.
No, it's literally what happened. Like, he got really involved in the ERAP community, and the ERAP community was like, fuck OTK.
Well, then we see ERAP
And the funny thing is, he goes on stream like 6 months later and bitches that we ghosted him. Isn't that crazy? I don't care anymore. I'm not holding back, so it's talk shit. I'm just going to speak the truth.
Yo, ERAP, join OTK.
Oh, he's not holding back.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God. We got some serious shit talking there. Jesus Christ. Do you think this is the end for OTK or Zoil? What kind of bagel? An everything bagel with ordinary cream cheese. Hi, baby. I don't ever want to hear anybody complain about anything to do with feminism or dating standards or whatever if you are standing for this. This is not healthy. This is the bridge that I will die on. I'm too old. I don't get it. Whatever. This is not okay. Anything having to do with VTubers is not okay. Oh, jeez.
Vice president and president for almost 50 years. Oh, God.
I did predict them. That's right.
Okay, dude. Is that so smart? Is this smart? Hello? Ah! Fucking dumbass, is it possible?
Okay, base. They're called bumpers for a reason, okay? Chill.
In January, Gilles just couldn't find a job because Gilles didn't like the jar of pickles in the yard. Yeah. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Don't let you murder it. Our time is running out, and our time is running out. You can't skip it on the ground. You can't stop this screaming out. How did it come to this? Oh, yeah.
Okay.
In my mind, I've gone to...
Why did the subreddit, like, die? Based.
New tonight, a CBS News New York exclusive. A Manhattan building superintendent caught on camera kicking a tenant down 2 flights of stairs. The doorbell camera video showing the violent attack that landed the super in jail. Derek Waller is talking with tenants who now fear for their safety.
And Jessica, tonight we're outside the 2-3 precinct in East Harlem, and we've got to warn you that we're about to show some pretty graphic video of a building tenant being kicked and beaten, police say, by his own superintendent. Now, that superintendent was arrested after a tenant called 911. All of this caught on a doorbell camera. That video, recorded just after 8 o'clock Saturday morning, shows a 26-year-old male tenant getting kicked down a flight of stairs, police say, by the building super. The attacker, identified by police as 45-year-old Nick Valentine, then picks up a wrench and continues beating the tenant. Seconds later, as the tenant begins to walk away, the attacker kicks him down another flight of stairs. Police say the dispute inside this East 112th walk-up near 3rd Avenue was over rent, adding the victim sustained lacerations to his right hand and had pain in his left arm. Outside the building, neighbors.
Oh my god.
Oh.
We're in. Thank you for that. These are React streamers in the making.
Outside the building, neighbors.
Oh my god.
Oh. We're in disbelief.
I think that is not the way that you're going to get your rent at all, obviously. You're not going to get your rent that way, so I don't understand.
Valentine is now charged with a felony second-degree assault that could land him in prison. Police sources tell us he has no criminal history. But after seeing what their own building staff is capable of, tenants had no interest in talking to us on camera. But one tenant did agree to speak, provided we did not show his face or use his name.
I was very alarmed. I didn't know what to do.
The man telling me he's raised concerns about health and safety.
You don't think the guy doesn't know his voice?
Very alarmed. I didn't know what to do.
The man telling me he's raised concerns about health and safety in this rent-stabilized building for years, now culminating with this violent assault.
It's unfortunate that it has to come to having to report to the news for things to finally click for people to get involved and to stop things like this from happening.
Tonight, Valentine remains in police custody pending arraignment, and we have made several attempts to reach out to his family.
Okay, this whole fucking video, but we don't know how overdue his rent was. They say it was overdue by rent. Not like, if it was like 1 week, then yeah, that's like a slap at the most, okay? But if he was like a year overdue, or like 6 months overdue.
Police custody pending arraignment, and we have made several attempts to reach out to his family as well as the owner of the building. So far, those requests have gone unanswered. In East Harlem, Derek Waller, CBS.
Did they say 2 months? Hi, baby. Oh, hi. Oh my gosh. What?
Trying to throw things at him because.
Well, now he's here, and he doesn't want to have things thrown at him.
Okay. He's trying to chase shit. He's trying to run everywhere and jumping.
Bye, Felicia. We're hanging out now. See how little he cares? Don't go, honey. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Okay. Yeah, what if the guy that was kicking down the stairs, what if that wasn't even the owner? What if it was just a good Samaritan trying to bully a rentoid? What is this?
You can win big on Hard Rock Bet with a little bet.
Yeah.
Or a Post Malone size bet.
Oh, yeah. Yes!
Big payouts for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Well, a California man accused of attempted murder and assault with a firearm on a peace officer has been found not guilty on both charges. And now the victim of that violent attack, which was caught on camera.
Wait, what?
Well, a California man accused of attempted murder and assault with a firearm on a peace officer has been found not guilty on both charges.
Oh, found not guilty. He beat the jury. He won the jury trial, ladies and gentlemen. God bless the USA.
Of that violent attack, which was caught on camera, is speaking exclusively to Fox News at night. Let's bring in former San Bernardino County Sheriff's Deputy Megan McCarthy.
Okay, this is too much. Please, my holy Christ.
Megan, I mean, this is an awful story, and we're going to show the video. And I want people to know before you start telling your story that this video didn't kick in until a minute and a half after what Megan's about to tell you. And by that time, he had been beating you for a minute and a half. Explain what happened.
Yeah, it was a 911 call. His mom called asking for help about him. So I arrive and he walks down the driveway towards me and he's mad. Wait,
what the fuck? Did he just shoot at her? No shot. Hold on. He was just aiming, right?
Called asking for help about him. So I arrive and he walks down the driveway towards me and he's mad. He's aggressive. His fists are clenched. So I conduct a pat down of his pockets just to make sure there's no weapons, my safety and his. And he just sets him off. He begins grabbing my arm to the point that he breaks the base of my thumb, starts punching me in the face over and over and over again. And as we all saw in the video.
Why are you doing this without backup? Why would you? Wait, San Bernardino. Is that ordinary? Or where are my cops at? Are there cops that take 911 calls like this on their own without backup? Because it was just a 911 from a lady about her son, saying that her son was like mentally like losing it. What do you mean? Wait. what? What kind of... Oh, shit. Fuck. Sorry. My bad. I keep forgetting you're all a bunch of rich white kids, okay? Ordinary people don't call 911 on a child, okay? Because they need somebody to come by and put them in timeout, all right? If the parents are calling 911 on the kid, probably some crazy shit going on. Holy shit. Good flashlight attachment. Glad she's got it on outside. Oh my fucking god. I'm about to extrapolate a lot here, okay? Because I don't, when you fire a pistol, when you pull the trigger, the bullet goes forward, and the slide comes back, and your hand has to rest against the grip to provide enough counter force for the slide to come all the way back to load in the next cartridge. If you shoot, it's called limp wristing a shot, but if you shoot and you're not providing enough counter force, the slide won't reset correctly when you pull the trigger, and then the next round you'll have a fail to feed error. What is it called? A fail to feed, basically, and then the next shot won't fight. The next shot won't shoot. I think that when she was on the ground here, watch, she's on the ground and she fires. One goes in the air. The second shot is on the ground. Because he's got her arm and everything pushed in the ground because of the weird angle here, I don't think the slide reset here. And he picks the gun up here to shoot her, maybe to kill her. But I think there is a fail to feed here. And then he goes to, watch, hold on. Right now he's re-racking the slide. And now that he's re-racked it, now he can shoot around. That fail to feed probably saved her life. Holy shit. Whoa. But there was probably a failure right here when the, whew. It's jammed right now. Yeah, this would have been a point blank execution. But it's jammed and then he has to re-rack, yeah. Jesus. What the fuck? How the fuck is he not guilty? What the fuck could possibly be the reasoning? In the United States of America, in front of a jury, all 12 jurors need to convict. They need to vote that you are guilty unanimously. Anything can happen in front of a jury. This is why people like to plea on the prosecution and the defense. You never know what will happen in front of a jury. What is happening? Does he have his hands up with a gun in his hand? I wonder who shoots first here. In the case everybody looked at again? No. If you win the jury, you win. That's it. Does this say something that weak women shouldn't be cops as often, maybe, since she was easily overpowered? No. What? You never do calls like this without backup. That's my understanding. If you're a police officer, I don't know why you would ever go to a call like this without backup, whether it's a guy or a girl. If it was a guy and he went without backup, then instead of you guys spamming in chat like, oh, that's why I won't shoot, you'd be crying because it would have been a man that would have shot and killed a dude, and you'd be like, oh wow, cops executing mentally ill people. I have no idea how you do a call like this without backup. I have no idea. I have no concept. I don't know. Maybe originally the 911 call seemed more benign than it actually was. The procedures that she went through, like doing a pat down on a guy that you think might be dangerous without backup, it's just so stupid. Maybe I'm like traumatized from all the cop fucking execution videos I've watched, but if I was a police officer, I'm never doing any 911 call ever without backup, with at least one other person there. Holy fuck all that shit ever. Jesus.
We end up falling into the ground and tries to kill me.
And he grabs your gun at some point and he fires shots at you. And the jury, for some reason, decided that there wasn't enough evidence. I'm looking at this. The whole world is looking at this. The evidence is right there, and yet this man walks free. I mean, that's got to devastate you, Megan.
It's just heartbreaking for the whole institution of law enforcement.
The suspect, Ari Young, suffers from schizophrenia. Jesus.
You're called to help someone and somehow you become the villain. Somehow I didn't do something right, where somebody thought that they could take a police officer's gun, point it at their forehead, pull the trigger, and you walk free. It just blows my mind that that happened. Yeah. I just sit here and I wonder, how did we get to that point?
The defense attorney said that, he wasn't actually shooting at you. That was the defense. And the other defense was, and it wasn't really a legal arrest because he hadn't done anything wrong up to that point. That was the basis of him walking free.
And that blows my mind that that is the precedent we're setting for not just the community, but for law enforcement. How do we tell the millions of cops? And that blows
walking free.
And that blows my mind.
Do they both have white contacts? Wait, do they both have fake eyes? I'm so confused right now. What the fuck?
That is the precedent we're setting for not just the community, but for law enforcement. How do we tell the millions of cops tomorrow to go to work, kiss your loved ones goodbye, wear a bulletproof vest, and
it's the studio lights? Yeah, right. More like it's going to be fucking Aegon signing off at the end of this.
This is the back they have for you. I was called to that house to help.
Egon?
She wanted my help. That gives me the exact cause of law enforcement to help someone. Wear a bulletproof vest, and this is the back they have for you. I was called to that house to help. She wanted my help. That gives me the exact cause of law enforcement.
He's facing federal charges now? Why? How? Wouldn't that be double jeopardy? You can't charge her for the same crime in two different venues? Isn't that bullshit? Not satisfactory. Victorville man facing federal charges for being acquitted of attempted murder of deputy of... The state's sentence for the man was not satisfactory, the U.S. District Attorney said. What? That sounds like bullshit. One was state level and the other was federal. If it gets kicked up a level in court, it's not DJ. Well, state and federal aren't kicked up a level. Those are just two different venues, right? State court and I don't know if you'd say federal court is higher than state court for stuff like this. Meow. The double jeopardy clause does not generally protect a person from being prosecuted by both the state government and the United States federal government for the same act. That's bullshit. Wait, seriously? That's wacky as fuck. That might be true. I never knew that.
To help someone. And the fact that these people believe that I did something wrong to the point where I almost lost my life is heartbreaking.
What did you think when you were down on the ground and he got your gun and you were still conscious? I know he was punching you and you almost lost consciousness, but what did you think during that time that you knew that maybe he had your gun?
When I felt him take the gun out of my hand and I turn onto my hands and knees and I'm looking down the barrel of my own gun and he's like this and I hear the trigger click. The only thing that I thought was that was it. I had so much pain to my face from the broken bones and the punches that was the only thing I thought, that I just got murdered. And by the grace of God, a malfunction saved my life. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't
Oh shit, it did. It did jam on the ground.
Be here today. So I turn and I run away and I hear another gunshot go off and I know he's firing at me as I'm running away.
Yeah, I mean, it's just awful. And we cover on Fox News at Night all the time this war on police across the country. And they're shooting police officers. They're ambushing police officers. It's hard to convince police officers to become police officers when they hear stories like this.
Absolutely. And today marked the 100th officer that was murdered in the line of duty. In the last 10 years, we haven't reached that number until October. So we're getting closer and closer to just a war that never needs to happen. I don't know.
Wait, 100 in a year? Wait, how many cops get fucking killed a year in the United States? Wait, what the fuck? How many cops a year die? USA. Officer deaths by year. Oh, this number is way higher than I thought. Damn! 2020 was 428. 2021 is 660. Holy shit! More cops die per year than unarmed black people. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. Okay, stop.
Why we have gotten this emotional backing behind cops are doing the wrong thing. I don't know how we can bridge people together, but we have to try.
Yeah. You have 3 children. Would you recommend any of them?
Yeah, I wonder if that's like in the line of duty.
That's tough because there is still a huge population that respect law enforcement and love law enforcement. My husband works for the sheriff's department. My sister works for the sheriff's department. I love the idea of law enforcement, but nowadays I just can't support it because that was the justice system that denied me my closure and my justice. So how do you go and tell people to work for that?
Megan McCarthy, best of luck to you.
Thank you
for
so
coming
much.
on.
Thank you.
Young people.
Don't vote.
Don't vote.
Everything's fine the way it is.
Trump. That was us.
He's our guy.
Tax cuts for the rich? Hell yeah. I'm rich as
Climate change? That's a you problem.
True.
I'll be dead soon.
True.
Sure, school shootings are sad.
I ain't getting shot at no school.
I haven't been in a school
True.
for 50 years. I can't keep track of which lives matter.
Sure you don't like it. So, you'll like some meme on Instagram.
If the weather is nice, maybe you could go to one of those little marches. You might even share this video on Facebook.
But you won't vote.
You young people never do.
But I do. I do.
I do. Midterms, primaries.
Every single election.
We'll be there, but you won't.
Because we're a generation of doers.
Not whiners.
Bro.
We're doing great.
Based and true. Fuck young people.
Three counts of aggravated robbery. 3 counts of attempted murder. 2 counts of capital murder. Illegal possession of guns. Illegal possession of cocaine. Illegal possession of meth. Why are you using meth?
I don't use meth, I move meth, nigga.
Oh, you move meth. You sure is right, because it says all that in your new song. Why would you say that in your new song?
My new hit single, I just killed a nigga and I move drugs.
Why the fuck would you name your song, I just killed a nigga and I move drugs?
Because I really do that shit, I'm true to the streets. Can you get me off?
Not only did you do that, they got your ass on camera.
Niggas ain't got me on no fucking camera.
This is the clearest video I've ever seen. This is the most HD shit ever. This is 4K. How did they get you in 4K?
That ain't me.
Why did you do that? Why would you look? Nigga, you got the same fit on. Did you do this today? Did you do this today?
Man, can you get me off of what?
This nigga done did this today. You shot 3 niggas today and asking me, can I get you? Yes, I can.
On God.
Yes, I can get you off. It don't matter what you did. Really, I just want to show you what kind of trouble you was in. Yeah. I can get you off of anything. It don't matter. Come on, man. Hey, guess what? You might have to go to jail for like 2 weeks, but you got bail, right?
I moved drugs.
Come on, yes, that you will be back rapping in 2 weeks. I promise that. Promise that. Come on, man. Just refer me to your rapper friends. They got money too, right? Come on now. I'm gonna get you off.
Hey, good look.
Hey, no problem. Think I'm an amateur at this or something? Come on now. Can I get him off? Stop it. What's up, y'all? RDC World 1 here, and I just want to talk to y'all about a few things, actually, because a lot of people been telling me they miss these talking parts at the end of the video. I miss the talking parts at the end of the video. It's like everything's about skits lately, just skit. You know why, though? Because 7 niggas is living off these skits. Can't do vlogs no more. Y'all niggas want to half watch the vlog, fully watch the skits. How about this? How about y'all watch both? You ever thought about just watching both, maybe?
How does he get him off?
Then I could be this type of person who don't care about two.
That's the most important part of the video.
If you don't watch both, you fake. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You a fake nigga. Nah, I'm playing. I appreciate all the support, regardless. I just want to tell y'all to go check out the gaming channel. Subscribe to the gaming channel, because we about to be on that mug heavy. We've already been on it heavy. Go watch the last few videos on there. I want y'all to check out the Twitch, because we be on Twitch, as y'all know. I want you to follow all of our Instagrams and Twitters, because we be posting shit that I feel like a lot of YouTube people don't get to see. You know what I'm saying? I really want y'all to see everything that we do, all the content, everything we talk about, just everything in general. I want you to follow all the members of RDC. Hopefully it popped up on the screen when I do that. You know what I'm saying? Please do that though. For real though, because that means a lot to us. And not to mention, you know, it's gonna have updates about all the videos you do want to see, all the big videos, Hood Avatar, Black Avengers 4, When People Take Anime Too Far Part 3, which is those 3 are the next big videos that will be dropped. When I say big videos, those are the ones that take so much production and so much
production
that,
and time.
That's why we can't just put them out 1 week like we used to. Because the first ones, they'd be like a week long. Second ones, they'd be like 3 weeks long. Then the third one's like Black Avengers 3 took like a month and something long to drop. So now this one's gonna take like 4-5 months, because why? It's getting better, bigger and better. Anything else to say? He said no. He just didn't say it on camera. But alright, y'all. RDC World 1. Wait. Do y'all want an anime recommending video? Like an anime recommendation video? Because a lot of people keep asking for that. Like, what do y'all want? Will y'all take the vlogs?
What? Black people told us how we have to dress and give us music to listen to and dictate every part of pop culture. Why do they have to take anime from us as well? They should have never made Piccolo.
Leave it in the comments. Alright? Thank you. RDC rolling out.
I changed my mind on all the NDI stuff. I'm wiring everything HDMI again. That was a mistake. It was a bad idea. I've seen the error of my ways. I'm rewiring all that. That's the only studio update I have for you today. It looked good yesterday, no? No, yeah, actually it worked fine. But I don't think it's appropriate. You can move so much so easily through HDMI. I don't think it's appropriate to use NDI. There's no reason for that when I can cable everything. Did you end up doing bridges with Theo? No. Can you set up handle all the HDMI cables? Yeah, I just ordered another capture card. Should be fine. Can you guess how many hours of work you've put into the studio off stream? I don't know. But it's therapeutic for me. I put on music, rewire stuff. Feels good. Honey's going crazy. Why don't you hire a professional to do what? I don't know what the idea or implication or thought. I have no idea for what. Are you bringing back the plushies? Maybe. I don't know. Ask Ninu. Do you and Dan actually hate each other? Because it increasingly seems like you do. The animosity is growing, truer and realer every single episode. Yes. Are you going to be putting something else behind Dan on the wall that will explain now? Yeah, something should go on that wall. I just don't know what. You said guns are fun and you can't really ban them realistically, but morally you're in favor of U.S. presidents having such easy access on guns. Seems like a whole lot of harm with no utility. I don't know. I don't think it matters that much. How many graphics cards, PCI capture cards, and other things that use a PCI slot are you using? On that computer downstairs? I don't know. I've got a GPU. I've got one Blackmagic intake card. I'm going to be putting a second one in there, and then I ordered a huge USB-C PCI card. Hopefully I can fit all that. You get a lot of PCI lanes on your board that you never use, though, right? Most people don't use more than like 1 or 2 slots. Just like with your mom, most people don't even use more than 1 slot. Whoa! If you hired a pro sounder video person, we would see it IRL debate streams between the two. The only reason your minds are so mind-fucked on all the shooter stuff is because I talk about it so much, because it's a hobby or interest of mine. I think our audio already sounds better than like most podcasts. That's also one of the reasons why I'm pointing it out is we're listening to like these other like huge shows. Like they're literally like audio hums and shit in the background that you can hear, but you guys just don't think about it because you're not 99% of the stuff you're just not really thinking about, or like crazy cuts happening and shit all the time. I think everything. Also, Theo said as much. I should have made him stand online. He said we had the best. One of the best studios, okay, setups, especially for being a hobbyist that he's ever seen. So suck a dick. And it's all automated, so we don't have anybody running production too. Which I bet there's not a single other stream. I bet there's not a, you know what? I bet we have the most advanced 2-person studio on the internet right now with minimal effort. Find me one other. Find me one other. Are you happy with the TV background and monitor as they are? I think the monitor is okay. TV background, I think is fine. Proof. Oof, more than fine. Yeah, actually, I think it looks cute. The color's a little off. Like there's a lot of color here. It's probably different at night. I'll probably have to tweak the LUT or something. When are you gonna fix the wide shot? I think the wide shot is probably fine. Wait, when there's a third person. I feel like it should be more zoomed in or changed if there's only 2. This is probably not okay with 2 people though. One thing I thought, oh God, because my brain is so huge. But I need to fuck with OBS. Maybe I'll fuck with it tonight. I might try to blend a composite shot. Rather than having that hard cut in the middle, if they like blur into each other, I wonder if that would make the composite shots look more coherent. But I don't know if that's what it looks like. But Do you know the CPU that studio computer uses? Some 11700 bullshit Intel chip, I think. Don't link me nuance, bro. Shit, I blocked that guy. Okay, I don't need to read that retarded shit. We have the bridge thing with Chris Williamson. I mean, if you ever wanted to, maybe. Maybe. Don't hold your breath, because I never really know these things. Also, I never really know if people know what they're getting into sometimes. Like, I don't know how much research people have done on me. But tomorrow morning I have a talk with Sam Harris's crew. That would be interesting. They want to have a talk about what an ongoing collab could look like. I have no idea what that means, but... Look at the max PCI lanes. Wait, the fuck? You realize a podcast with both of you on it would be massive, right? Like truly gigantic. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Sam seems like he unplugged from the world a lot because he's like getting super mind fucked by all the negativity and crazy people. And I'm like the exact opposite of that, so. The 1x16. I could swap out the I've got a 1080 Ti in there that's probably using 16 lanes. I could probably swap that out with whatever I'm using here, because I think the GPU I have on my computer, this one that does all the encoding up here. No, it's not an 8 lane, is it? I don't know if that was supposed to be a Fairy Fountain remix at the end of that guy's video. Fuck. Do you think? Your podcast with him did really good from what I can see. Oh, yeah, they said as much, yeah.
Hopefully it popped up on the
Do you think this is supposed to be a Fairy Fountain remix? Do you think?
Please do that, though. For real, though, because that means a lot to us. And not to mention, it's going to have updates about all the videos you do want to see, all the big videos, Hood Avatar, Black Avengers 4, When People Take Anime Too Far Part 3, which is those three are the next big videos that will be dropped. When I say big videos, those are the ones that take so much production and so much time that, you know what I'm saying, that's why we can't just put them out 1 week like we used to. Because the first ones, they'd be like a week long. Second ones, they'd be like 3 weeks long. Then the third ones, like Black Avengers 3, took like a month and something long to drop. So now this one's gonna take like 4-5 months because why? It's getting better.
Oh fuck, this is a fully... For lanes, is it... You can just count the things? Or is it... Is that not how that works? But this is probably a full 16 lane GPU, isn't it? What happens if you overload the lanes? Is there like a... Is there like a muxing chip Fuck, now I'm not sure. I don't know what CPU I do have downstairs. Oh, I guess I'll have to check. It explodes. Yeah, I wonder if we could just run the 16 card on times 8. Who knows? We'll see what happens. The Eastman Disbarment is a good read, bro. I'm overloaded on shit right now. Okay, let's...
Class on Monday. Mr. Griffin, can I have a word with you? Oh, yeah. This is about your essay, man. What's going on? I'm concerned. Yeah, actually... First of all, you didn't even type it. Okay, you're in college now. You type everything in college. Yeah, Second of all, you have all these grammatical errors here. Like here. I am tired of living. I am exhausted of feeling like I'm not good enough.
Don't bother with enterprise GPUs. Those are overpriced for 3D artists using Linux on multi-million-dollar films. Like this? Do you think this is about... This is what I have on my computer right now. I don't remember why I got this. Oh, because it was capped at 75 watts. 75 watts! And not having to plug any external power into it is nice too.
Better! Bigger and better!
Sorry.
That's a run-on sentence. Professor, I am tired of living, period, or semicolon. You know this, Mr. Griffin. Oh, then here. My life is an endless cycle
a real
of
GPU.
disaster.
Lower power draw is nice for my apartment because it means I'm not flipping my breakers. And it's just less wiring inside my box. Like being able to just slot a card in without having to do the wiring from the PSU is nice.
Disaster is spelled wrong. My needs to be capitalized. Oh, this too. I hope everyone misses me because
there's that, and it
today
has
is
an
my
AV1
last...
encoder. I think it has 2 AV1 encoders. But I think all the NVIDIA GPUs now by default have multiple, can do multiple encodes on them, which is pretty cool.
Day on Earth. I tried all I can do, but nothing was good enough. Nothing. No commas, no periods. I mean, what the fuck am I even reading, Mr. Griffin? I'm very disappointed in you, Mr. Griffin. If you're gonna write essays like this, then you should kill yourself. End your fucking life. Die. Jump off a cliff and shoot yourself in the face. Because this essay is fucking terrible.
Jesus. Oh, it is a Zelda beat. It's not Zelda, it was a remix of this song from Shining Force 2? My god, that brings me back. Oh, actually, wait, I'm sorry. I just wanted to listen to a Shining Force song. Well, I think you might be right, actually. Oh, it is Shining. It says Shining Force 2 here. Wait, why did you say... Oh, he thought it was a Zelda remix. He linked it and called it Zelda beat. But it's not Zelda. And they do say that in this. It is... It's the same song. It's not. Man, it is similar though. Why is it like this? Yeah, the reason why the Zelda song sounds the way that it does is because the third top note is is a chromatic movement, and it stands out a lot. It's a very particular sound. That one. And then the descending chords. I think Koji Kondo is his name. He loves these always the descending chords. And then this is chromatic, but it's also diatonic, so it works. And then chromatic. And then no, this is probably chromatic too. He uses this like descending chord progression in like so many different songs though. There's this the one I don't remember which song that is. It starts like bum bum bum. Not that. Oh, it says that one. Something like that, whatever. But Song of Healing? Is that the Song of Healing? Majora's Mask? Bump. No, that's like isn't that like the main theme? Wait, no, that's the main theme. Oh no, you're right. It is a Song of Healing. It's the reverse of Zelda's Lullaby? Wait, is that true? Wait, hold on. Wait, how does Zelda's Lullaby go? No, what? How? What? No, what? Not even close. Who said that? How could this possibly be the reverse of? Steins Gate music is okay. I like that anime though. I think the soundtrack could have been better. It's the reverse Song of Time. But that is correct. They do have a similar type of chromatic movement. Good for you. Good job, Chatter. You got A-. That thing. I also think doesn't the James Bond theme do that? Oh no, it does it on the top note. Wait. Oh, is any of that functional? I have no idea. No way. Is it? I have no idea. Are you serious on that old Casio piano? No. Your movie Sex gave me this keyboard like 3 years ago. I don't even know why. What a baller. Sell me on Steins Gate. I got to the Liquid Banana and just wasn't getting into it. I think it's a dog shit anime until you get to episode 12. Then it's all worth, okay? You have to make it, as long as you can make it to episode 12, you'll know if you like it or not. That's kind of cool. Can you explain to me why you like Synecdoche, New York? I feel like it's I think that one of the interesting things about doing philosophy, when I started that a long time ago, when we were arguing with JF, is that there are a lot of things in life that you take for granted, like what is a woman, or, you know, things like morality, or things like, you know, what's true or what's not true. There's a lot of things in life you take for granted, and I think when you dive a little bit into philosophy, you kind of start to realize how many systems are running, whether we're talking about language or society or relationships that you just take for granted. It's like, well, these things could be way different, or we could think about these things in different ways. There are some kinds of movies, I think, that make you re-examine how you view yourself and view your life. And the Synecdoche movie, it feels like it dances like very finely along that line of, I'm guessing Charlie Kaufman is engaging in some type of analyzing his own life and his own purpose and his own place in the world, and it's a little bit autobiographical, I think, in him trying to I'm sure, fuck me, if there, I haven't watched any YouTube reviews on it, maybe there's like a whole thing on this, but like the idea of like, what is my purpose in life? Am I special? Do I mean anything? Like, how do I convey these things that I feel in life to other people? And then there's all these other things that are running in tandem with it. Especially like replaceability is a big aspect. Like, can you just swap one person out with another? Does it matter? What does it mean to be authentic? It just deals with a lot of really heavy stuff like that. But it's definitely a certain type of movie. Like, you have to, like, I don't think you can just sit and watch it and like enjoy it. Like, it's not like a fun movie. It's like you want to sit down and think a lot. I don't know what, there are certain types of artsy movie. I don't know if you would call it an artsy movie. There are certain types of movies like that I really like. There are certain types of movies that I really don't like that are artsy. I don't know why. I would never, ever watch The Lighthouse again. Like, I guess it was like a good achievement and everything, but I don't even know if I would say I liked it. I can appreciate it. I think the performances were good, but like, that's it. But yeah. Are you a Wes Anderson fan? I've never been a Wes Anderson fan. Maybe if I rewatch them now that I'm older, though, maybe I would feel differently, but is it a good movie for date night? I would say probably not, but it's up to you. I hated going on dates. There are certain movies, depending on the movie, I can't watch a movie and like be on a date. It just fucks with me. Especially depending on the type of movie, sometimes I just need to like decompress after. So I'm either talking about it directly or I'm just not interacting with somebody. Like, I think I remember that one time there was a chick that I super fun to hang out with. She ended up becoming a tanky, I guess, I'm assuming, because she started reposting. What's the guy? We used to call him the ashy black guy. That sounds so racist. Who am I thinking of? Sean King. I don't know why we called him that. I don't know if anybody called him that, actually. August, why that part of the VOD? But the yeah, I remember we went over to hang out and Talcum X. Why do they call him that again? I remember going over and watching Uncut Gems. Yeah, and I had to go home after that movie. I couldn't stay. It was just like my brain was like that movie was so much. There was way too much to just like hang out and like have an out. Like, it was just like, yeah, it was too heavy on my mind. So there's probably some movies like that, but like I go out and like watch like a Marvel movie afterwards, or like a horror movie or something. You know that ashy doesn't mean light skin, right? No, I think for black people, ashy has to do with like, because I think menthol cigarettes leave more ashes or something, and so that's like a stereotype. Growing up, listen, I love my grandma. She tried. I think I mentioned this. Growing up in the, I used to go to my grandparents every single weekend. I don't know why. I was obsessed with my grandparents. Oh, because they would let me watch horror movies and play all the video games I wanted. And all the kids in the neighborhood were black. I don't know why. Down in Bellevue, with their chateau apartments. And my friends would stay over a lot, and my grandma was like, she was like old person racist, but not like racist. But she would always call them like my colored friends. I remember the man, what was I? I must have been like 8 or 9. Yeah, and she would always say, because black people are, because your little black friends have drier skin, colored people have lotion, so I have to wash the sheets every time any of your friends sleep over because they leave the colored smell on the sheets. I'm like, oh, thanks, Grandma. Jesus Christ. But anyway, yeah, I think I don't know why. I actually don't know if that's true. When I was younger, I heard that a lot, that black people have to wear lotion. So I imagine that's where they actually, I don't know if that's like a rule or not, but Jesus. She means well. Yeah. My friend's grandma said the same thing. I think it's just more noticeable if darker skinned people have dry skin. Oh, that could be it as well, maybe, yeah. How's it feel having thousands of people watching you do stuff on your computer? Not good. I need tens of thousands of people. Think about cars. Black cars show dust and white cars show dirt. Wait, do black people ever get dandruff? That seems like it would be the worst. Oh no. Hi. What's up, baby? How are you doing? Did you want to hang out on my desk? Wouldn't that be so much fun? Yeah? Watch a dreadlock restoration video if you want to see some brutal... Oh, dreadlocks are no good. Or it's not that... I don't know if you can make them smell nice or not. Maybe you can, and... I don't know.
Look at this big baby! Oh my gosh!
He's just laying, and he's just a unit. Yeah? Your housing ticks are good, but you should still feel bad. Thanks, is that Sui? Okay, what is this? Not safe for life.
Sent flying.
Wait, is that not safe for life? Hold on.
A 6-year-old girl sent flying.
Ooh!
A 6-year-old girl sent flying. It's a miracle she isn't serious.
Oh wait, I think we've seen this video. Yeah, we have. Honestly,
a 6-year-old...
I don't even know if this guy's speeding. Is he?
Girl...
Also, good stop. I don't know if that's the car auto-stopping, but... Jesus.
Flying. It's a miracle she isn't seriously...
They later say he was going 40 kilometers an hour.
hurt, even killed.
I wish I could have done better.
I think you did very well.
And it was a fucking Tesla driver. Disgusting.
Well, to stop as quickly as you did.
Yes, I tried to.
IT engineer Mohammed Danish was behind the wheel.
I mean, oh god, I don't know flags or car symbols. What is this stupid? Is this like I want to say a Taurus, but I don't think that brand even exists anymore. Toyota? Is this a Toyota symbol? Somebody said Honda? Oh, hi, baby. No, Honda's the H. Oh, there it is. What was the Taurus logo? Cringe. This looks like a restaurant. Wait, hold on. Car. Wait, was there ever a brand? Was this just a model? I don't know what the fuck I'm even thinking of. Bro, back before, you guys are young, but, back before 2007, we used to have there were 20 different car brands that existed under GM. Does anybody remember back in the day what were all the GM car brands that went out of business after 2007? My God, what were they all? Oh, Saturn and Hummer. Oh, everybody was sad when they lost Hummer. I'm just kidding. Nobody gave a fuck. They were copy pasted. I don't even know what the fuck the point was. Saturn went out of business. Losers. DeLorean for all of 1 year. Why did they pick a DeLorean for? Hummer is still a thing. It came back. Did it? Why did they pick a DeLorean for Back to the Future? The ultimate car logo quiz. For memes? Okay, let's... Oh, no, come on. No, and you're putting fucking European car brands? No, we're not doing that. Fuck that. Because it was impossible to get a DeLorean to 86 miles per hour? You mean 88? You see Ella's got the car you wanted? Isn't she hanging with Brianna? I imagine it's probably Brianna's car, right? I have a contact for Kick, but I'm waiting till Monday to deal with it because this shit on the weekend is an asshole move Lamau. Why is Kelly on a rampage right now? Holy shit. How many Cybertrucks do you see around Miami Beach? I think I've seen one. Destiny needs a new car. Someday I'll sit down to buy one and I'll actually commit. I should have just bought that Lotus Emira. Wait, speaking of, is my title here? I need to register my goddamn car. Did my title from Nebraska come in finally? Question mark. I'm gonna go to jail driving this motherfucker around.
Remember who you are! Remember who you are!
Okay. Why the change of heart? I thought you didn't care about registering your car. It's just not worth the stress of no, I don't mind registering it. I just don't want to, because I can pay someone else to do it. I just remember that. So now I have somebody else working on it. I just don't want to take the time to wait in line for 6 hours. But then I was like, I can just pay somebody to do it. So I'm waiting for that to happen. Do the penalties go up the longer it's been without a registration? I'm just not sure if I'll get arrested or not. Okay, that's all I'm worried about. Because it's it's expired by 7 years. And if my car gets towed and I got to go through, because the biggest fear is that if they tow my car, they might make me have to show a current registration to get it out, which would mean I'd be without a car for however long and fuck all that shit.
blah, 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 blah.
Not like you drive it anywhere, is it? Yeah, what do you mean? Not too often, but...
Blah, 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 blah.
Trailer for every Academy Award-winning movie ever. How many are there? Oh, this is 14 years old.
Toast. Establishing me.
Is that Lex?
Blah, 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 blah.
A toast. Establishing me as the wealthy, successful protagonist.
Why don't you apply the same mentality you have for renting versus a mortgage on transportation? Why don't you apply the same mentality you have for renting versus mortgage on transportation? I think I do. What? Oh, leasing? Why the fuck would you lease? Oh, I see. Oh man. The comparison is so bad. I have to think of like how to explain how bad the comparison is. When you lease a car, what you're doing is you are you're essentially buying the depreciation of a vehicle so that you can have the fun of driving a new vehicle. That's what you do when you're leasing, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. That's what you're doing. To compare leasing to renting would be the same as saying, imagine every time a brand new apartment complex opened and you leased it for the first year and then the rents went down after that, but you immediately got kicked out of the apartment. Or maybe you had the option to stay, I guess, because some leases give you the option to buy. But that's like the difference between leasing and buying. Or leasing an apartment and like leasing or buying a car or renting an apartment, I guess. Yeah, it's not really... in order to make that comparable, you'd have to rent only brand new apartment buildings that were overpriced and then, yeah. Here's a stupid thought. Is there any tax trick that you can do with the LLC that your LLC leases the car? If I wanted to, I could put I don't know if you could put a car in the name of a business, but I could buy it with a business account to make it a business expense. But there's no valid reason for the IRS to have me buying a car for a business. I would be using it basically exclusively for personal use. So if the IRS were to audit me and then go through my expenditures and then try to say like, oh, I see you bought a car for your business. Do you use this car for your business? Well, not really. It's my personal vehicle. Like it would be, not good. So as a tax write-off, like it's probably not allowed.
Handsome.
Murmur of a grandparent.
Ambient sound.
Talking to people. Friendly concern that something may be missing from your life.
Confidence that nothing is missing in my life.
Interrupted statement about
reassurance that my good fortune will not waver.
Introduction of characters suffering from the most topical disability of the present year. Said retard is now under your custody.
My catchphrase!
Frustration with these new circumstances.
Admiration at your seeming selflessness.
Interest in your bold rejection of social norms as evidenced by your dyed hair.
My name.
My name.
Catchphrase.
Relief.
I was a big proponent of leasing, then interest rates went up and it no longer made sense, so I bought a new car last year. It's just about what makes sense for you. If you're leasing a car, it's because you want to drive a new car. I don't know why you wouldn't. I don't think there's like a cost intelligent way to lease. Leasing is just a thing you do if you want like new car experience, no?
At having found meaning in my life.
Friendly concern that a string of heightened and seemingly unrelated plots may now arise.
Dude, differences are surfacing between us.
Accusations about your sexuality.
Suspicion that a character once thought trustworthy may not be trustworthy. Also, I've got to use tough love to help this Latin American teenager.
What? He's just having fun. Let him live life. Is he running into your room a lot? He's just so noisy. What's wrong with him making noise. It's a cat. That's what they do. If you wanted a quiet animal, get a gerbil.
Believe in himself. Also, I must prove innocent this incredibly humble human male. Also, I've decided to fight with the Native American metaphor against the American military metaphor.
Lead females, nay!
A naive yet inspiring statement. And then the music gets hopeful.
Specific. What are you doing to him? Oh my god, this dude's like parkouring around the fucking house.
Outlining of your major character flaws. Overreaction.
Friendly, black, optimistic advice.
Passionately! Whispered repetition.
This scene doesn't make it to the final cut of the movie.
Inspiring final lines of a speech that douchebags will quote in their Facebook profiles!
What are you in here for?
Manic depressive.
You're not like other blacks.
You're a real charmer, huh?
You seem to have taken quite an interest in Rachel.
You want to, bust out of here, escape?
Are you still one of the Brotherhood?
No, I think they're gonna revoke my membership. I used to be a white supremacist, and Rachel taught me how to love instead of hate.
Love is not a race. Neo Ned, starring Ethan Suplee, Sally Kirkland, Gabrielle Union, and Jeremy Renner.
Wait, was this real? If you mostly do mutual funds for investing, would you do an international fund or focus solely on the S&P 500 and total stock market? There's some stupid fuck fund that somebody recommended once, and I started buying into it as well. I think it's called VT. Am I making that up? Which is like international stocks. I guess if you want to be internationally diversified. But listen, if the US markets go down, the whole world's going down, so who the fuck cares? Speaking of, hold on. Oh, okay, our CrowdStrike is finally stabilized and is on the up. NVIDIA is still on the up, but not as up as it was a week ago. We believe in these two stocks, though. The guy that recommended that was a huge meme in the Bastiat community, and he no longer recommends Vanguard World. Oh, Vanguard Total World Stock ETF. Well, I'm still holding on it. If I had money to invest right now, though, I would invest in Intel. But I am over leveraged on meme buys right now. I used to lease cars after having 2 that became money pits, ultimately broke even on the amount spent, assuming car 3 wouldn't have been the same. I mean, it's important when you go to, like, maintenance for a car is very important. Some maintenance is very important. Because if you don't do certain types of maintenance, you're looking at huge repairs down the line. Once cars have hit, it's really going to depend on the vehicle, but like once a car has hit certain mileage limits, doing major repairs just doesn't make any sense anymore. But I mean, you kind of have to know the vehicle, and you have to know the vehicle history to know if it's worth it or not. Like if you're doing major repairs on a car that has like 250,000 miles on it, and it's like not known as being a brand or a vehicle that lasts for a long time, like you're going to run into other problems. At that point, it's probably better to just buy a car for, but you can buy a used car for the same amount of money you'll be putting into like huge repairs. And yeah, just, but it depends on the, yeah, it depends on. Do you ever just give up in your debates with people and then try to give them advice on how to make it as a streamer? I'm surprised you didn't just tell Jesse he'll be gone in a year if he doesn't change his approach. Why? I mean, why? What? I'm not here to give career advice. Also, it'd be really presumptuous of me to give career advice. Also, yeah, I realized because I didn't have time because I had to do that show last night that I didn't have time to run through everything I wanted to with him, but yeah. Is it true that EVs, especially Tesla, save you a lot in maintenance and repairs? No clue. Never heard that before. Not sure if it's true or not. How believable does this look to you? Do you say your thoughts on the lawyer you talked to? I don't know. The only thing that's iffy is, but also I'm looking like really hard at this. The only thing that's iffy is when she turns her head back to the camera. I don't know why. It seems a little weird when her face comes back. That, I don't know what's going on there. But if I just saw this, I'd probably just assume it's real. It felt like Jesse was just avoiding engaging with any of the points you were making that might change his view. How would you have approached this combo moving forward if you had more time? We would have ran through the entire elector's plot. Because we can look at every single document. Especially because technically I'd already won the debate. Because he immediately said that if that thing that I was alleging actually happened, that would obviously be really bad. Keep in mind too that if you can prove the elector's plot, which is like easy, if you can show that, it speaks a lot to the January 6th insurrection intent as well. Because if you're already showing somebody moving so illegitimately in one manner, so badly in one way, and then there's another event running in parallel, it makes that other event look really bad. So, yeah. Don't you get bored of running through the same stuff with dipshits again and again? Bro, I played StarCraft professionally for like 5 years. Why would I get bored of doing the same thing over and over again? Do you know how long we played League of Legends?
The guy given people a load of money which they had to spend really fast. All right?
But then presumably a load of money that you spend really fast, you buy a house, that house is still going to increase in value, you're still going to have wealth tied up in assets.
It's a terrible way in which people acquire assets, though, because logically speaking, what they should do when they retire is sell their house, cash in, and downsize. If people did that, the problem wouldn't really be there.
Ooh, I don't know if the problem would go away entirely, but he's hinting at something that me and Econo Boy came in, or was it somebody else came in to talk about, that you're not very well incentivized to adjust your housing based upon your needs. If you have a house, you kind of want to keep it. Like, I don't know how common it is. I wonder if there are numbers on that. Like, how many parents sell their home after their kids move out? Like, you'll buy a home for your children because you want to have a home with like bedrooms or kids, but then once your kids grow up, you don't really move out. You don't like sell it and move. You just like keep it and you're there. And it's like, wait, what's the point of this? Now you're like occupying a whole ass house that you don't need that you don't need for, I wonder how common that happens.
They don't. I don't understand. I mean, literally, okay, I know of people where you have a single person, a widow, living in a house worth 2.2 million, whose own children are having trouble replacing the shock absorbers of their car. Before the woman's husband died, the two of them went down to the Harvester at the end of the road, okay, discovered that the special offer on the cheap dinner before 6 p.m. didn't apply on Fridays, and walked all the way home again. Right now, I don't know I don't know what your idea of millionaire is, okay? But probably your definition of millionaire is not someone who goes to Lidl because they're worried about the price of lemons.
Right.
But I know people who have literally, so you have this absurd discrepancy where you have people who are asset rich in a form of an asset which is completely illiquid, where for what...
Illiquid is what he's saying, right?
Rich in a form of an asset which is completely illiquid, where for whatever reasons, and some of them are good reasons, I'm not disputing this, but older people seem absurdly reluctant to downsize. I don't quite know what's going on there, okay?
I talked to my parents about this, who are, I love them both, but are just financially just lost to this world. And it's like, yeah, I think they live in like a 4-bedroom house right now. It's like, why? Well, what if the family wants to visit? We get a hotel or we sleep on the couch. Why would you have an empty room 290 days of the year for like, if that's assuming you've got 2 months worth of family visit, like it's for all my things. We've got all these objects now and we need space for them. Sell them. My God.
But I mean, my brother lives in a house somewhere in Buckinghamshire where effectively the entire road, not quite the entire road, I think the entire road bar 3 houses consists of a house worth £1 million in which 1 or 2 retired people live with 4 or 5 bedrooms.
I think my aunt's house...
They're effectively bed...
My aunt lives in a huge house. Fuck. Can I find... Hold on. Do I know the address to this? Oh, fuck. I don't remember it. I wish I could look up the square footage. She lives alone. The cop aunt. Yeah. She has a full retirement from the New York City Police Department, and she works full time at Home Depot so that she can afford her stupid huge fucking house. I have no idea why. What the fuck is the point? What the fuck is the point of retiring? Just to work for it. God, dude, boomers are just, and Gen Xers are just, fuck, what is the city? Is it this? All right, never mind.
Blockers for the property market. Okay, they're preventing people from forming families. Those people, they don't need...
Just talk to her about it. The answers that I gave you earlier, those were real answers that my parents have given before. This is why they want, like, they need a house for all the things they've got in their life, and because they're older now and they deserve to live in a really nice place, and like it's just like, I've just never understood it. For me, like, money means that I never have to worry about missing a bill, and I have the freedom to do whatever I want. Not that I'm like sinking a ton of money into some huge fucking stupid fucking house. I can understand if you have like a nice view somewhere, or at least like places you could go walk to or do things, but not just to live in some big ass. The fuck? Who cares? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Why? Who cares? You have a big house. The fuck's the point? In some cases, people hold on to their houses for sentimental value. Yeah, but then you're like destroying the whole fucking world by doing that. Like, is that like, what if I wanted to just burn piles of coal and trash because we did it growing up for sentimental value? Like, that just, I don't know. I mean, if you want to like destroy the world, I guess. Did you move a lot when you were a kid? Maybe that's why you don't have a home feel. No, I mean, I had a home feel for my first home. It was super sad when we got foreclosed on and kicked out of our house and had our car repoed. I felt that. Now, I don't know if it was because of all the horrible stuff happening around our finances. Which, by the way, if I ever in my entire life, if I ever wanted confirmation that you guys are brain broken on all these issues, it was arguing with that one dude for 30 minutes, having all of chat tell me that I was out of touch and didn't understand anything about housing. And then as soon as I brought up that example that guy was saying was impossible, all of chat immediately switched to, oh, he's too emotionally involved. That's why he can't see this issue clearly. That was the funniest 180 I've ever seen chat do on a perspective that I've had in my entire fucking life. Okay, so how does keeping a house that you like equal ruining the world? If you are one or two people and you have a 3 or 4 bedroom house, you're engaged in the overconsumption of housing. You are in that house. Houses are limited. It's a scarce resource because you can only build so many houses and there's only so much land. And now a family that might want to buy a house can't do it because you're living there and occupying it and keeping it off the market for nothing. It's wasted space for you, but you just like it because you have memories in there. And so now you're just destroying the market. Yeah.
Property market. Okay, they're preventing people from forming families. Those people, they don't need the space. It's kind of wacko.
Serious question. Is there any good reason for the IRS not to fill out tax forms automatically if they have all the data they need to do so? Nope. Americans are just retarded when it comes to trusting the government to do anything. Just like there wasn't really a good reason to oppose net neutrality. It's just Republicans and conservatives are wacky and crazy.
Now, they're effectively bed blockers for the property market. Okay, they're preventing people from forming families. Those people, they don't.
That's the dumbest take I ever heard, Destiny. Don't you own a house with your ex that's being wasted? They live there. No?
Need the space. It's kind of wacko. Okay, I don't quite get what's going on. Now, one thing that could solve the problem quite quickly is to engineer a pretty decent property crash just temporarily, so people no longer had this absurd overconfidence in the fact that their house would continue to go up. I think there are people who don't move out of London who would be happier living out of London, but they're terrified that once you move out, you'll never be able to move back in, and they're terrified of missing out. It's basically a massive collective FOMO.
Yep.
Okay. Now, I mentioned the fact that, neoliberal economics assume...
Why wouldn't they live in an apartment? Why? Because you can afford a house? Why would they live in an apartment? What?
Optimal utility maximizing expenditure. Just to be clear on this, okay, housing is the worst way you can spend your money in terms of the externalities, okay? If I go to the pub...
God damn, who is this guy? Rory Sutherland. Hello, hell yeah. Hey, I chatted with you before about something similar. I'm listening to your recent lawyer conversation. I think you're not approaching it the rhetorically effective way. I have notes and timestamps. Got a second to chat. Maybe. Yeah, give me 20 minutes. Is there anything wrong with over-consuming housing? People over-consume a lot of products in capitalist countries. That's what makes them great, right? No. Housing is an incredibly limited resource, so overconsumption of housing is a huge issue, and that's not good. We probably have to be careful about how we consume stuff related to housing. Certain things that are like very scarce or very limited, where the demand is relatively inelastic, like where lots of people need them, is probably not good to have people massively over-consuming those things, because the externalities, the other effects you're having on the market are not good.
For money in terms of the externalities, okay? If I go to the pub, right? Okay, I'll give you an example of, if you look at the effect my expenditure has, my spending money has on other people.
Will my partner and I renting a 3-bedroom with extra space to build a studio/exercise room be overconsumption in your opinion? No, you're using the house. As long as you're using it all, that's fine. It's the main problem is probably old people that have their children move out and then they don't adjust their living situation. That's probably the biggest culprit.
Housing is the worst way you can spend your money in terms of the externalities, okay? If I go to the pub, right? Okay, I'll give you an example of, if you look at the effect my expenditure has, my spending money has on other people, right? There's a huge amount of variety in that if I go to the pub, I'm not just buying myself a pint, I'm also securing the survival of a pub for the benefit of lots of other people, okay? spending money in pubs, cafes, and restaurants, I would argue, is kind of positive. It's positive for the wider community.
Yeah.
Okay. You might even argue, and I would, that buying a car from new is an extraordinary act of philanthropy, because I buy a car, I take a massive hit in terms of depreciation so that someone significantly poorer than me can have a car that is nearly as good as my car was when I bought it new for half the price. Okay, go out and buy a 6-year-old Jag.
Just as a heads up, I hear this so much. Every time I've went car shopping, I feel like this is just not true. Maybe I'm crazy, or maybe I just don't buy the right types of cars, but it's the same thing that people used to say when it comes to GPUs. I remember this for like a decade. It was always like, wait till the next set of graphics cards comes out, the last set will become cheaper. They never became cheaper. That was never true. I always hear people say like, oh, cars, they lose 20% of their value as soon as you drive off the lot. The second, bullshit! If you go buy used cars, where the fuck are all these used cars that are 2 years old and like 30%, 40, 50% off? I feel like cars are like a year old or 2 years old, or like around like 5 to 10%, like within the same price of it being new. I don't know. Maybe I just bought used cars at like the wrong time, but every time I went shopping for used cars, I was like, where the fuck are all the 50% like 3-year-old cars? The fuck? This used to be true, but not anymore. Maybe it was a long time ago it was true, but I feel like it's been true for like 10 years. Holy shit.
Okay, you're basically driving around in a luxury vehicle at somebody else's expense. I mean, people who buy cars from you should be celebrated. We should have we should have a statue to anybody who buys a car from you. It's an amazing act of philanthropy. Okay, my brother's an academic, and I always tease him by saying that he basically, in most material goods, he ends up buying exactly the same shit I do, just 3 years later. Okay, whether it's computers or mobile phones or whatever, a secondhand iPhone, utter extraordinary act of generosity. Someone has a phone which...
There's an XKCD on this, right? Fuck, I'm not gonna be able to find it. Was it this? Oh, was it? Sorry. The IRS is rolling out direct file to all 50 states starting next year. Based. Where have you been all week? Playing Half-Life 2. That came out in 2004. I get games on a 5-year lag. That way, I never have to buy a high-end system, but I get the same steadily advancing gaming experience as people who do, and at a fraction of the price. There are no downsides. I can think of one, early 2013. Guys, the cake is a lie. This was a triumph. The cake is a lie. Lay sigh. I remember trying to log into the original Command & Conquer servers a year or two back and feeling like I was knocking on the boarded up gates of a ghost town.
Effectively, the richest person in the world probably would have owned, not this very same phone, but an identical phone 3 years before, and they get it 3 years later for a third of the price.
From the little you know about them, if Nikki Haley won the Republican nomination, would you still vote for Harris over her? Curious how much you dislike how far left-ish Harris is. I would probably have to do a serious policy evaluation. I don't even know where the two parties stand right now on policy. The Democrats seem like they've gotten a little bit more outwardly hawkish, which I appreciate now as I've gotten older. I guess I've become more hawkish. Like, I appreciate a stringent defense of Ukraine. I appreciate restraining of, but is still a support of Israel. I appreciate wanting America to be somebody on the world stage. Like, these are things I appreciate now. The Democratic Party seems to enjoy that, enjoy the support of that. So I'm okay with that. Econ policy, I'm not as crazy about. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't know. It just depends. I would have to do like a serious policy back and forth analysis. Biden killed TurboTax. Why don't we hear about it? The IRA includes a provision for a system for filing taxes directly to the IRS for free. It was piloted in 2024 and will be made nationwide in 2025. Biden killed TurboTax. Killed it?
Phone, but an identical phone 3 years before, and they get it 3 years.
Overconsumption of housing is a term used by people who don't understand the importance community. You mean the importance of community? Don't even start. Please don't even start. Please. I can already see through how fucking insanely fucking white you are. It is the whitest and most American privileged brained idea in the world that you need a huge fucking house for community shit. Not to lean in too heavily on anecdote, because I know that you guys get mad when I cite data and you get mad when I cite anecdote. My whole white family have so many big houses that with all these rooms and all the space, and they have no community, no family visits. Nobody's got the money to travel. Nobody does shit. The biggest like community I've ever seen happen in my family was when I would go down to Hialeah and hang out with my Cuban family during the summer. And those motherfuckers lived in the shitty cockroach infested apartments. And every fucking night, somebody would be having a cookout or a barbecue, and people would be outside and chatting and talking. This myth, whatever you're saying, actually, hold on, I'm sorry. I'm not even mad at you personally. This is just like a pleading life advice thing. Please do not delude yourself or bullshit yourself into thinking the only way you can have fun in a community-friendly environment is to waste your life slaving over the acquisition of some huge house. It is the wrongest, dumbest, stupidest fucking thing ever. Plenty of people have fun in small areas and in apartments, outside, in whatever the fuck. You can have fun in so many different areas, have community experience in so many different areas. The idea you need some fucking huge house to do it is so wrong. Oh my God, I've seen my I've watched so much of my family slave away to get these huge houses with this delusional idea that they would be having family dinners like every other night, and nobody goes and visits or anything because they're all broke. They're all over leveraged or working on paying off their Chapter 11s, or working on moving between houses because they're getting they're all just in financial ruins. I think he's talking about having to move out of your community if you were to sell your house. Oh, fuck neighbors. Who cares? That's just wrong because your neighbors suck. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean that could be an understandable reason to stay. I guess I could understand it, but people always say if you don't want noisy neighbors in an apartment complex, then you should get a house. Maybe. I think okay, I admit that this is a biased take. But you should make as much noise in your apartment all the time, every time. Okay? Because, listen, when I worked night shift. And you daywalkers have zero respect. Daywalkers have zero respect for people working graveyard. It's like our sleep schedules don't exist to you. The amount of times, even at my work, the amount of times I would get called in early, like, why are you I have to be at work at 10 p.m. Why are you calling me at 4, asking if I can come in at 8? I get off work at 6. Can you imagine if I called the day shift manager that's supposed to be there at 6 and will be ready to work at 6:37 because day shift workers are always the laziest fucking employees ever? Can you imagine if I called her at midnight to see if she could come in at 4? You would kill me if I were to ever make these phone calls, okay? So you know what? If you're in an apartment, make noise. Fuck your neighbors. And then go and fuck your neighbors because they should be fucking themselves because daywalkers have no respect for grave shifts. So fuck noise complaints. Make all the noise you want, motherfuckers.
Later for a third of the price. There are lots of ways in which consumption is actually extreme. You've got, even if I go and buy a hot tub, okay, which is getting onto the more selfish phase of things, if lots of people buy hot tubs will become a lot cheaper and more people will be able to afford hot tubs. Yeah. So this is my problem. I feel that I've worked in advertising for 30 years and I've entirely wasted my time because what I've done is help people buy better and better and cheaper consumer goods for the most part. There are problems in customer service in service-led brands, which I'll park for the second. I think customer service has got worse, by the way, through a kind of cult of automation. But basically, the manufactured goods a kind of cult. I'll park for the part. There are problems in customer service in service-led brands, which I'll park for the second. I think customer service has got worse, by the way, through a kind of cult of automation.
It's not even customer service. It's like robot service. Yeah, true. We just gave up on that completely. I don't know who to blame on that. I feel like Steam was one of the first big companies. But I don't know if they influence Google or whatever. But yeah, there is no more human customer service anywhere.
But basically, the manufactured goods you buy, the food you buy, the meals you eat out, okay, are better than they were. I mean, you're not even old enough to fully appreciate it, but trust me, compared to the 1970s, okay, Pizza Express is the Manoir Quatre Saisons compared to a standard place you go and eat in 1973. Everything's got better. It's mostly got cheaper and more affordable, okay? And the subtotal of that effect has been to allow people to spend more of their discretionary income on property. And therefore, most of what should have been the extraordinary gains in living standards in terms of the holidays people enjoy, the cars people drive, and everything else has been soaked up effectively by the property market. Okay? And I think we should tax that because I think it's an entirely worthless form of wealth accumulation. And I think that land value, not if you improve your house, you get to keep that because that's your work. But the actual basic value of the land and the appreciation of the value of the land should be heavily taxed because it's an atrocious thing for people to do with their money. It's not an investment, okay? It's totally inert in terms of its effect. It's purely rivalrous. It's much worse than the Dutch tulip thing, the property market.
Damn, okay, this guy goes harder than I do. Jesus.
Because I don't have to buy a tulip, right? Okay, the Dutch tulip boom was an insane kind of Ponzi scheme nutter boom. But, there are substitutions for tulips. I know these tulips getting really expensive. I think
what is the Dutch tulip?
Right, it was a thing that it's part true, part mythical, I think, if you dig into it. It was effectively that tulip prices, and particularly for rare tulips, basically spiraled out of control at some point in 17th century Holland. And so it was one of these cases where effectively rising prices brought in ever more demand. And so you had this thing where effectively it was a crazy boom which spiraled out of control. That's not a problem because I don't need a tulip. I can get by without them. I could decide to substitute with gladioli, okay? But you need housing. You need a place to live. And actually, you need a place to live with a reasonable degree of certainty in which you can bring up a family. The fact that housing has become the predominant form of wealth storage
is a huge problem.
Is
not good.
Adam Smith, okay? Adam Smith distinguished between three things: labor, capital, land. Subsequent economists, because it made the maths easier, conflated capital and land and treated them as the same thing. Adam Smith quite rightly spotted that they are not the same thing. Capital and land are not the same thing. Land is something that is in short supply, and in many cases, the value of it is determined by the actions of others. Okay?
Boy, he's about to go full Georgism.
Someone builds a road, suddenly your house is worth either less or more, depending on whether the road is framed as a good thing or a bad thing. The Singaporean government basically is Georgist. In other words, they own a lot of the land. They fund a large part of the government they're effectively property developers with a side gig in governance.
I think that's the third or fourth time you said Georgist now. Can you?
Crazy. So Henry George, I'm not, by the way, you could apply the same principle to any non-renewable resource, whether it be land or fossil fuels. But George's idea was that, taken to its purest extreme, was that there should only be a single tax in the United States.
What are your thoughts of people buying land to preserve nature? Nature's important. I think it's important to do stuff like that. Central Park is it's nice and amazing that in the middle of New York City you've got I think that's a good thing.
And the tax should be on the value of land, because the idea being that the value of land is basically, land ownership is basically extractive. It's rent seeking. Now, here's the greatest mystery in economics. All economists agree that rent seeking is a bad thing. In other words, patent trolling would be another example, okay? You're not actually contributing to anything. What you're seeking to do is to own a bottleneck, all right? And then effectively own something that is essential to somebody else and basically milk your ownership of it. You're not actually doing any useful work. You're not investing and creating anything new. You're simply exploiting an asset that other people require access to. So what tends to happen, okay, what George would say is...
Rent-seeking behavior is... I wish I had a more concise explanation of this. Rent-seeking behavior is when you're finding ways to make money by just exploiting a current situation, but you're not providing any additional value whatsoever. So things like derivative markets wouldn't be rent-seeking because you can argue that there's a boost in liquidity, or things like being a tour guide would be rent-seeking. Rent-seeking is when you're purely exploiting a situation to just... imagine there's a river, I guess, and you would go in front of it and you would just hold up a gun and say you have to pay $5 here to come and drink. That's rent-seeking behavior. There's got to be a better way to... What is the more concise explanation? Isn't the gig economy the same? Absolutely not. That's a service that's being offered. Rent-seeking is the act of growing one's existing wealth by manipulating the social or political environment without creating new wealth. Rent-seeking activities have negative effects on the rest of society. They result in reduced economic efficiency through misallocation of resources, stifled competition, reduced wealth creation. Rent-seeking can also be in the form of going to the government and trying to find ways to milk money out of the government without actually doing anything. Would scalpers be considered rent-seeking? Maybe. I'm not actually sure about that. I don't know. The result is reduced economic misallocation of resources, stifled competition, reduced wealth creation, lost government revenue, high income inequality, risk growing corruption. What is scalping? Rent-seeking. Aren't you pro scalping? I'm neutral on scalping. I think that I don't think you should ever... I think generally it's stupid to be mad at scalpers. Don't improve. Profit from buying the available stock and raising the price you pay. Rent-seeking is also lobbying actions corporations engage in. Rent seeking is collecting wealth without creating new wealth. If a scalper buys something on all they offer and resales a higher price than the other benefit that is rent seeking, if they would offer something else like convenience or bundling or some other service that's no longer rent seeking because the wealth was earned by selling. I feel like if you're just scalping in and of itself, I think this would probably be considered rent seeking behavior. The issue with the problem with scalping, true, yeah, dark figment, yeah. Fuck, I don't want to get into all my unpopular takes because I'm just right and people get mad as fuck about it. If scalping is happening, the reason why the scalping is happening is because the initial price was set too low. That's why people get mad, but that's it. The price for the initial thing should have been set higher. If you're mad at the scalper, you shouldn't be mad at the scalper. You should just acknowledge that either you probably shouldn't have been able to afford the good or service in the first place, or they should have made more of them. When PS5s are listed for $300 each, and they sell out almost immediately, and they're relisted for $700 on some websites, and people are buying them, the original PS5s should have just been listed for $500 or $600. That's it. Scalpers are only existing in a profitable manner when markets, for some reason, are setting prices inefficiently. And if there's an incredibly inefficient setting of a price, then a scalper is going to come in and they're going to adjust the pricing levels and they're going to collect rents basically in doing so. But what about supply side issues? Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, like you can supply, if you don't have enough supply, then you should raise the price. But I think for PR reasons, like companies can't do that because they would look bad. But then scalpers will come in and they'll make money. But that will always happen. There's almost nothing that you can do to counter that because the market is just setting a price that's just way, 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 way too low. What if scalpers caused the supply shortage? That shouldn't technically be possible. If we're talking about elastic goods, but Matthew Iglesias, what is this? Oh. Oh, true. Okay.
Asset that other people require access to. Yep. So what tends to happen, okay, what George would say is that when you get people, let's say, forming a community, and the community becomes more and more desirable and more wealthier, more people want to move there and so forth, the gains, which should go to the people who did the work or indeed provided the upfront investment to build the buildings or whatever, instead go to the owner of the land who contributed nothing. And what tends to happen is whenever you have any form of useful activity which depends for its performance on its location, the gains from that activity do not primarily go to the person who's performing the useful activity. Okay, they go to the person who owns the land on which that activity takes place.
Yes.
Okay, so an example would be airport retail, which is effectively, various brands have to be there. The people who get rich out of airport retail are not retailers; they're airports. And what they happen to do is simply own a kind of, they've got a location, the ownership of which confers an income on them without requiring any commensurate investment or risk. And so the idea is that effectively, since this thing is extractive, some people have described Georgism as basically socialism in relation to land, free market capitalism in relation to everything else. Yeah. Okay, that's probably quite a good shorthand. You could, interestingly, I'm sure some people do, I haven't researched this enough, extend exactly the same thing to...
Yeah, ignoring the factor of bots on shoes, consoles, GPUs is just nutty. They couldn't significantly scalp at the current level without bots circumventing cart limits on retailers. The reason why those limits are being put in place is because the price is not set appropriately. If somebody is able to massively buy up a good and then relist it at a higher price, that means that the original good should have just been listed at a higher price. If people that are scalping can make a lot of money, the reason why they can make a lot of money is because the initial price was probably too low. Like that's, I mean, there are going to be some circumstances for this where, like, if you're literally able to buy up 100% of a good and relist it, and like it's something that people really want or whatever, then there's, but.
For example, non-renewable energy.
Yeah.
You could say oil. the ethical justification for this is kind of, look, land, okay, the fruits of your labors rightly belong to you because you created that thing, okay? However, land shouldn't necessarily belong to anybody because it was effectively an endowment from the creator, you might have said, and the gains from that endowment deserve to be apportioned.
How much do you think the PS5 should have been priced at release? I mean, ideally, the ideal pricing is where every single unit is sold and the last unit sells for the most expensive price somebody would be willing to pay for it, and then the goal would be to get as much money out of every customer as possible, and for every customer who's able to buy one who can bid the most for it to be able to buy it. But that's not what people don't like to hear. That people want to think that everyone should be able to buy even a limited thing. Like there are 1,000 PS5s available, and all 10,000 people should be able to buy one. Like that's what people want to hear. So, but
because it was effectively an endowment from the creator, you might have said, and the gains from that endowment deserve to be apportioned fairly and reasonably, whereas the gains from individual labor, enterprise, or risk deserve to be disproportionately apportioned to rewarding the person who underwent those efforts or those risks. I think that makes sense, does it? Yeah. So it's basically saying that land is a different category of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and you might argue fossil fuels. I would say it's not a huge leap to say that you should basically tax the use of non-renewable resources.
Yeah.
Because the idea being that they aren't actually the fruit of man, if you want to get religious about it. They're actually a kind of, that they're a fixed endowment.
What about when bands in the 90s refused to sell tickets above a certain price because they didn't want to play for only a wealthy audience? I mean, wealthy people are going to get it anyway. What do you mean? There's no way that you can ever... poor people are just going to sell their tickets. Or you're just... Okay, so what? So somebody who's able to spam F5 on the website and buy first is more worthy than a person that has more money than somebody who... I'm sorry, but what do you mean? It's just... yeah. The problem is just that... it sounds mean, but this is just it's an entitlement problem. People think that they are owed or they deserve some particular thing for no real reason. You don't. Why couldn't we just create a type of patent system for selling PlayStations that only PlayStation has and not allow reselling? I mean, you can try it, but how the fuck, regulating that throughout an entire economy is just going to be really, 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 really difficult. You're trying to deal with, you're creating a market inefficiency, and then you're trying to solve it with government policy. You can do it. I mean, it's not arguably all government policy is trying to redirect market forces, but market forces are real. Market forces are powerful. What about the unforeseen shortages, like if a major warehouse burned down, causing supply to be unexpectedly short? Should businesses then raise their prices as a consequence since their stock is now more valuable? I think in a perfect world they could, but in the real world you can't really do that because, for instance, here's what would happen in a perfectly economically fluid world. When Sony does the first run of PS5s, the first run of them is sold at $850 each or something, right? And then people that want to buy it, that are wealthier, will come and buy it. And then people that, can't afford it, wait for the next run, and then they buy the second supply. But the problem is in the real world we live in, it's a bit messier, and people are more, they're I don't want to say emotionally driven, but it's a different, you live in the real world where perceptions and stuff exist. And if you initially list a PS5 at $850 and then you do the next run at $500, people are going to have that first impression. It's going to be really bad, and it might hurt your reputation as a business to do the initial listing at a higher price. But again, anytime you have a huge difference in what you're listing something as what people are willing to pay versus what you're charging, there's gonna be arbitrage. I don't know. It's always gonna happen. Scalping is just arbitrage, really, and arbitrage is real and powerful, and there's nothing you can do about it. I don't know. I don't know what to say. You'll never ever be able to. You'll never be able to fix that. Okay, comments. But you don't think real estate companies and foreigners buying out houses is a problem? A real estate company buying a house to rent it is not a problem. The supply is still available in the market. I don't think foreigners buy out houses and don't occupy them. I don't think that happens. Overconsuming would be having multiple houses, not having a bigger house. I mean, you could overconsume in both ways. It just depends. If you rent out a house, it's not really overconsuming. You're making it available in the market for somebody to live in. Destiny, don't they typically give their house to their children so their children can have a house for their family? No. I don't think the ages work out that way. Maybe your grandparents could, but like, is mom and dad dying, or is mom and dad ready to leave the house once you have kids? I mean, maybe if your parents are really, really, really old, or if they're willing to move out and leave. But then also, who do they give the house to? What if your parents have two sets of kids? Or one set of kids? I guess a set would be two kids. That guy's talking about your parents' second house. Are stock buybacks considered rent-seeking? No, of course not. Would payment processing charges, percentage-based, be rent-seeking? No, because you're paying for a service for a payment processor, right? How many rooms does your apartment have? That's a 2-bedroom apartment. How would you solve a dilemma of an in-demand performer that only wants to offer services to a certain demographic independent of wealth without violating EO or legal ethical constraints? I don't think you can do that in the United States. If you're trying to target a protected class, I don't know if you're allowed to do that, right? Why does the accusation of entitlement only apply to people who want lower prices but not wealthy customers who can buy up something at any price? Well, because if you can afford something, then most people, at least in a capitalist economy, say that you would be entitled to it. If you can buy something, then you would be able to buy it, right? Isn't that how that works? I mean, you could argue there are some things that you shouldn't be entitled to via like money. So for instance, like let's say that you can afford to go to a certain college. It doesn't necessarily mean you're entitled to a diploma or entitled to a good grade. You'd have to earn that in other ways. But if we're talking about consumer goods, you are entitled to those by buying them, right? How is creating a guest suite not a valid adjustment? If you rent out a room in your house, I think that's fine. It just sucks that there's like all that space that's just empty and unused. Can you really solve this overconsumption? Is the only solution any way to build more houses? Can't really change people's minds radically and make them let go of their beloved houses? I mean, I think the culture has to change, but in the US, I don't know if it can at this point. What are the best floors with no noise in apartments? I don't know, probably level 1 floors. Corner rooms are good too because I think you're usually farther away from people to scream. Like if you're in a corner unit, I don't think the people on the sides of you hear as much. Maybe, I don't know why. Should wealthier people be entitled to scarce organs if we allow a market for organs? I don't think that's how we do organs. We don't price them out. Don't we put you on a wait list for it? How is raising prices of scarce goods utility maximizing? This would only be true if everyone's incomes were equal and the only access for bidding was utility conferred. I didn't say it was utility maximizing. I'm just saying that if you're a company and your goal is to make money, which is what every company's goal should be, then ideally you would want to sell every good for what somebody's willing to pay for it, right? If you think people having extra rooms is so bad, then people who own multiple homes must be way worse, right? Not if they rent them out. I mean, if they have multiple homes and they're just sitting on them doing nothing, yeah, I think that's probably pretty bad. What about scalping medicine? I think you can probably make ethical arguments for why. That's why I was saying before, elastic goods means things that you can go without. For certain inelastic things, you can probably make moral arguments for why there shouldn't be price scalping on these things. Like for instance, like hoarding during natural disasters is a form of like scalping, like price gouging or stuff like that. You can probably make moral arguments for why that shouldn't be allowed. Russian billionaires own empty homes for value? I don't believe that. I think there are way better investments to make than just having an empty fucking house. True, but if someone just wants a big space and they afforded that space by contributing to society, then isn't amoral to consume more space than they need just because housing is inelastic? I mean, you're fucking the market up a little bit. I mean, if you want to, it's like polluting basically. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you said if you live in a place that has more rooms than people living, it's a waste. But I doubt you live yourself always live in only 1 or 2 room apartments. Well, you would be wrong. And I'm the worst example to use if you're trying to do a personal attack there, because I super do not give a fuck about. I've never been a person who like needs a ton of space. Why should companies only try to make money? Isn't one of the classic arguments for markets is that they align incentives? Jacking up in scarce goods skews this more towards the seller. I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to get mad at you, but you're not entitled to a PS5, dog. You'll live if you don't have one. You're not entitled to the latest NVIDIA 4090. That's not a scarce good that's going to cause you to die if you don't buy one immediately, okay? You don't have to have every single brand new Android, every single brand new iPhone, every single brand new console, monitor, graphics card, whatever the fuck. You'll live if some of these are priced higher, okay? You don't have to be able to afford every single top-of-the-line brand new gizmo and gadget that comes out, or else, like, you have to, you know, make arguments like you can't afford insulin. It's not the same thing. I'm sorry. Is the desire for lowered prices ever justified, or should we always lean towards a 100% buyer's market? What? Is the desire for lowered prices ever justified? It depends on who you are. If you're the consumer, you always want the lowest price. If you're the supplier, you always want the highest price. But you aren't entitled to a low price, I assume. No one's entitled to any. I mean, the only types of entitlements we should talk about are like moral things, like medicine and stuff. People, hopefully, in society, we could make people like be able to have access to medicine and stuff, like, or you know, like being able to have a place to live and not be homeless, or be able to afford food and clothes and stuff.
Houston's with you, Butch. Go ahead.
There's a strange noise coming through the speaker, and I didn't know if you could connect into the Starliner and let me keep mic and let you hear it. I don't know what's making it, but
Aren't you against universal health care? Not really.
I don't know if it's something that maybe is connected between here and there, making that happen. But anyway, can you do that?
We can configure that, Butch. Give us a minute, and I'll call you back when it's ready.
Okay.
Station Houston on 2. We're configured for audio via.
What about consoles that are usually sold at a loss? Game hardware makers want to encourage large-scale sales because of software commission. Increasing price in that case would be a net negative to the company. If you have enough consoles to sell to everybody, you can afford to sell at a loss. But if you don't have as many consoles, honestly, the scalpers are probably doing the company a favor at that point. If I were to list 10 PS5s and I list them for $100 each and 10 poor people buy them versus 10 scalpers buy them and then resell them to rich people, the rich people are probably going to end up buying more on the secondary market than the poor people would. So in that case, the scalpers are even helping the first party manufacturers. Like,
Houston's with you, Butch. Go ahead.
There's a strange noise coming through the speaker, and I didn't know if you.
Does anyone find Destiny annoying here? True. I'm sorry. Let me restate my position to be more clear. I think every single thing should be listed for $1 in society. I read a study yesterday that shows that you can make insulin and PS5s for $3 each. And there's no such thing as R&D, and every company is just a lazy, greedy billionaire. And I think that every single thing in every single store should be listed for $1. Yes.
Houston on 2. I've got a question about Starliner.
Houston's with you, Butch. Go ahead.
There's a strange noise coming through the speaker, and I didn't know if you could connect into the Starliner and let me keep mic and let you hear it. I don't know what's making it, but I don't know if it's something that maybe is connected between here and there, making that happen. But anyway, can you do that?
Fuck. I feel like scalpers are taking advantage of an inventory issue, not a pricing issue. Implying raising prices would fix the issue isn't correct in my opinion. That's fine, but depending on how you look at markets, there literally is no such thing as an inventory issue. There's a consumption demanded at a given price. That's it. There is no such thing as an inventory issue. The prices would just continue to increase as the supply dwindles until eventually people aren't willing to buy the final product, basically, right? It's the meme of we'll never sell out of oil on the planet. The last barrel of oil will just be $1 million, whatever, right?
We can configure configure that, Butch. Give us a minute and I'll call you back when it's ready.
Okay.
Station Houston on 2, we're configured for audio via hardline and CST, if you want to give us a call.
Okay, I'm in Starliner, and how do you read?
5x5, how many?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'm gonna keep the mic up next to the speaker.
Copy.
Hear that?
At negative, Butch, we did not hear anything.
That.
All right, Butch, that one came through. It was kind of like a pulsing noise, almost like a sonar ping.
Yeah, I'll do it one more time, and I'll let y'all scratch your heads and see if you can figure out what's going on. Here we go. All right, over to you. Tell us if you figure it out.
Yep, good recording. Thanks, Butch. We will pass it on to the team and let you know what we find. And Butch, just to make sure I'm on the same page, this is emanating from the speaker in Starliner. You don't notice anything else, any other noises, any other weird configs in there?
Wow.
Okay, thank you.
So is your argument that scalpers aren't bad because money is still being circulated in the economy and people are just entitled? No, scalpers aren't bad. They're just taking advantage of a bad problem, which is a supply shortage. That's the thing that sucks about scalpers. Like, people will be upset at scalpers and pretend that the reason why they couldn't get whatever they wanted was because of scalpers, but they probably couldn't get what they wanted because the supply was short. But people take the supply chain issue or the supply issue, and then they'll complain about scalpers when the reality was there just wasn't the supply in the first place. Like, people would assume if there weren't scalpers, everybody would get a system, or everybody, but that's not true. Scalpers are taking advantage of a shortage of supply, but nobody understands that. So, I don't know. Scalpers are good then. Scalpers are good if you're a wealthy person and you weren't able to get it like immediately from the store and you want to buy from a scalper, or if you're somebody that's just willing to pay more money. But scalpers are bad if you would have been the person that would have gotten it initially, but then a scalper bought it instead of you. Couldn't you be mad at both though? I mean, I guess you could be, but the main issue is the shortage of supply, the initial shortage of supply. So we should overproduce? You should produce as many units as you think will be sold. Scalping itself is immoral. It literally adds no value to the market. It probably, I mean, it adds a little bit of value to the person that buys from you. But I mean, overall, you're probably right. I think scalping is probably like, it's probably rent-seeking behavior. They're not really adding value, sure.
Flow just like a Navy ship.
They're reallocating, supply-shorted goods to people that are willing to pay for it, but...
Flows just like a Navy ship. Right now we're in a maintenance period for a couple of weeks as we fix things, we take out the trash, we put things away, we reorganize, and we get ready for another phase of science. So when I first got up here a few months ago, we were raging through science, doing experiments from all different countries around the world, 3D printing.
The question is, if they're consistently sold out instantly, why aren't they just making more of them? They do. People usually can only make so much for the first run, and then they make more for a second run. Like, that's usually what happens, right? Like, if you want to buy a PS5 now... Hold on, I'm sorry. I used to be a gamer, okay? Am I crazy? If you want to buy a graphics card, if you want to buy a console, they're always available. You just usually have to wait a little bit, right? People lose their fucking minds because, like, consoles are listed on the market or graphics cards are listed on the market, and they can't fucking find any for, like, the first, like, few weeks. But usually there's, like, a second or third or fourth run. Eventually they'll be there. But people, like, lose their fucking shit when they can't buy it day zero. Like, just chill. Wait a couple months. Or wait a month. Like, geez. My God. It never used to be this way? Shut the fuck up. It absolutely used to be this way. I remember, like, the Christmas fucking, the Christmas runs for trying to get, like, certain, like, consoles and shit where people would, like, desperately be trying to find, like, a Walmart or a Target that sold them that wasn't sold out. Absolutely this shit happened back in the past. Fuck off.
Flows just like a Navy ship. Right now we're in a maintenance period for a couple of weeks as we fix things, we take out the trash, we put things away, we reorganize.
Is scalping any different in the context, for example, of concert tickets? No, it's the same thing. Didn't you just say there's no such thing as a supply issue? Okay.
I gotta admit.
Do you think Nintendo intentionally made less Wiis to keep the supply low and demand high? No, that wouldn't make any sense. Why would you ever do that? That sounds retarded. But they're also Japanese, so maybe the Asian people do weird business shit sometimes. Maybe they are retarded. I don't know. They only bought like 85% into capitalism. I don't know why.
I got to admit, the only thing that freaks me out about Los Angeles is all the plastic surgery. I don't get it. Why do people get plastic surgery? You know? Why can't you just admit it's over? You know? You had your time. Stop trying to look fuckable in your 50s. It's weird. With their faces yanked back, looking all shiny, right? Not to mention they haven't even figured it out. You know? Why would you get a facelift? Can't you look at other facelifts and realize they haven't worked all the bugs out yet? Right? That's what you want to look like? Like you just lost a fight 3 days ago? Don't be a hero. Let somebody else go in there. Take the fucking beats. You lay back. Wait it out. They're just lying to people. I know, looks great.
Scalpers are the just market makers. The main value they add is liquidity. I would disagree in saying the scalpers are doing a liquidity thing because the liquidity is already maximized, right? Like if a scalper doesn't buy it, somebody else is going to. What they're really doing is scalpers are adding a price discrimination mechanism, essentially. What a scalper is saying is like, hey, listen, if you want to pay more for this particular thing, you have the option to get it even if it's sold out. That's essentially the service the scalper is offering.
What happens if you have another episode like we saw?
Robinette Biden Jr.
Jesus.
What happens if you have another episode like we saw during the debate?
What happened?
Yeah, what happens if you have another performance on that on that level?
When you get knocked down, Joey, get up. Get up. But I just want to get some folks together to pay tribute to somebody who's not only been by my side for the...
Yes, but there should be a better way to not have consumers compete with resellers. Okay, listen, this is the final thing I'll say on this, okay? When you see a scalper, you get mad because you're under the false assumption that if the scalper wasn't there, you would have the thing. You probably wouldn't. If a scalper got it, you probably weren't going to get it anyway. Chances are you were never going to get it. But you see the scalper and you blame the scalper when the reality is if the scalper wasn't there, some other random dude would have bought it and you wouldn't have had it day zero. That's it. That's it. It's a supply issue. But with the scalper there, you can externalize all of your blame and hatred onto the scalper when the reality was there was never enough for you in the first place. That's it. Sorry if that makes you upset. You can toss that one around in your brain, go ask your econ or finance teacher or whatever, and they will explain exactly what I explained to you in more words. If you want to see the pretty supply and demand graphs and the inefficiencies that are caused by a low supply and what that means for the shifting of the curve and all, you can go talk to them about it. I don't want to do it anymore. Okay, but that's what's happening. You're delusionally blaming the scalper, thinking that if he wasn't there, all of us, it's like there's 10 widgets for sale and 500 people want to buy a widget. And then 8 widgets are bought by people that are first come, and then 2 widgets are bought by scalpers. And the other like 5,000 people are looking at the 2 scalpers going, fuck, if it wasn't for that guy, we'd all have widgets. That's what you're doing right now in your brain. But I understand the emotional frustration, it's retarded. Like, yeah.
A tribute to somebody who's not only been by my side for the duration of this amazing journey, but somebody who has devoted his entire professional life to...
Destiny, you're just wrong, though. Stoner69, hop into Discord if you want, my friend. This is like, it's the easiest Econ 101 argument in the history of all of arguments. There's nothing, like, you can't possibly be correct here. Like, the math and the theory and the practice, every single part of this is against you. If you want to hop in, go for it. Surely concerts are different because there's a capped supply. I know. I mean, the tickets are listed too low. People are willing to pay more for them. If you listed tickets lower than what people are willing to pay, there's always going to be somebody doing arbitrage. I'm here in stream disagreements. All right.